What is going on? Chicano ideas, culture is power, history is knowledge. Let's talk about Catholic La Raza, which is a political association organized by Ricardo Cruz, who I will do a video about. But started in the 1960s in Los Angeles of 69. The Chicano Catholic student activists who were engaged with both their Catholic and Chicano heritage enabled them to fight against the racism in the Catholic Church and the effects on the community. So the church developed into institutions for social change, creating projects, housing development, education, small businesses, the typical fight of that time. The church in Los Angeles used its powers and wealth to address economic and social needs for Chicanos, Mexican Americans. It's the Catholic Party was only active for a few years pro and it said up until the 1970s, so no, just a couple years, not that long. Criticism of the Catholic Church, which is, anybody ever heard of this organization? It says the C It says the church used the power and wealth to exemplify deep hypocrisy existing within the institution, such wealth on one hand and such poverty on the other. The church was willing to continue to invest in those, and so it looked like a little money scoundrel happening there. This is the St. Basil Church was considered the magnificent statement of faith. What is this? What is this organization about? Right. On October 11, 69, a group of Chicano students tried to see Cardinal James, but only Cruz and Joe were admitted. And the Cardinal threatened Cruz like trash and threatened to arrest other members. Again in December, attempts were made to discuss demands with the Cardinal, all which were unsuccessful. A plan was made to peacefully disrupt the Christmas Eve midnight mass, organizing a list of demands for the Catholic Church that included the use of the church faculties for community work, for shared governance, and religious leaders. So, this Chicano movement was protesting against the church, trying to really get the church to really donate and help and be there for the community and be there for the people. But if you know about the Catholic Church, well, we know about the Catholic Church. It said on December 24, 69, Cruz led a march on 300 people to St. Basil's gathering outside, chanting Viva la Raza, Catholics for the people. The protesters were coming. The church locked the front doors. Members used the side entrances where they met with an undercover sheriff posed as church ushers, and protesters were beaten and chased off the grounds by sheriff and church officials. It says the following LAPD launched an investigation on the protests. 21 members were charged with disturbing religious services while violence and arrests a setback. On the 29th, sympathizer bishop from Puerto Rico celebrated Mass in the dirt lot across the street from St. Basil's. Protesters engaged in hunger strike on the lawn of the church property. 1970, exactly a month after Christmas Eve protests, students and other protesters at midnight march from downtown to the final protest on September 13, 1970, where Ricardo Cruz and 20 other members burned their baptism certificates. Ooh. So this organization was about really trying to get the church to help the community of the time, knowing that they had so much money and so much power and so much influence, and trying to get the church to back up these organizations, knowing that they were taking money from the community and not putting it back in. You know, we all know nowadays about churches. It says to build power among Mexican Americans, to demand reform of Anglo-controlled institutions, stir up, excuse me, historic relations to white supremacy, calls to long history of intertwined relationships between the church and colonial rule. Historian Richard Martinez argues that during the period between 1848 and 1960, the church efficiently functioned as a partner in colonization progress by helping to maintain racial and capitalist orders in the Southwest. Next, I will make a video about Richard Ricardo. This is the guy who started the movement. Other than that, culture is power, history is knowledge.